بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. And we're continuing with our analysis of the book التعبير القرآني by Dr. فاضل صالح الرئي. And we're on page 21. Inshallah, hopefully we'll finish today so that we can move to the last page of this chapter. All right. So we had done this paragraph, but we had not finished it. So we're going to continue from where we left off, complete that paragraph and move on, inshallah. So let me make this bigger.
Can I please ask a question?
Sure.
This is the it's not about it, but it includes that. So we said that it was a maful hal, kaifa tasnaw was a maful hal of tarif. And then within that, kaifa was mubtada and tasnaw was khabar. And then the last thing that was talked about was how kaifa was hal of tasnaw. That I was not clear on.
It is not a maf'ul hal of ta'rifu. It is a maf'ul bihi of ta'rifu. And then it is, yani this whole sentence, look. Ta'rifu, lam ta'rif. You would not know. What wouldn't you know? What wouldn't you know? This. So this whole sentence, كيف تصنع, is the مفعول به. The whole sentence, not just كيف alone. This whole sentence in the bracket, this whole thing, is a مفعول به of تعرف, because it answers the question what, right? And inside that مفعول به is a جملة فعلية. And that جملة فعلية is made up of an اسم استفهام and a فعل. Okay? So that كيف, because the فعل doesn't, its مفعول به اسم مفعول حال has not been mentioned, so كيف becomes the مفعول حال in this sense. So inside this sentence, then we look at this is our فعل and this is our حال. So this is the حال of this one. But together, they are مفعول به of تعرف. Clear?
So, yeah, that's clear. But there something came up between mubtada and khabar as well, where you said kaifa.
Yeah. So it can be depending on. So that's the thing. That's why I didn't want to go into so much explanation of ism istifham, because I'm not also very clear on it. Because it's asma'ul istifham. There are so many ways of doing the i'rab. It's not just one way. It's not just hal. If just because it's hal, it's kaifa, we're always going to say hal. No, it depends on what comes after it. Sometimes it's going to be a hal, sometimes it's going to be a maf'ul bihi, sometimes it's going to be something else, right? It's depending on what the question answers. Yeah, yeah. So maybe I will share the summary again, because I also probably need to look at those notes and refresh my memory on istifham. But yeah, so there's not always one way. Like ma and madha, it's not always going to be a maf'ul bihi. Sometimes it could be a mubtada. Sometimes it could be something else. Yeah, depending on what role it is doing in the sentence.
Okay, so right now we just have it as a kaifa tasnaw is a maf'ul bihi of tarif, lam tarif, and within that, kaifa is a tasnaw.
Yes. Yeah. For now, let's just go with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I shared it. I will look for it and reshare it again, because I think we all need to revise that concept, inshallah. Any other questions before we begin? All right. So let's continue from where we left off. We had stopped at وَلَسْتَبَدَّ بِكَ عَجَبٌ لَا يَنْتَهِي. So that's where we're going to pick up from. Okay. Now, we ended on a question. And I think it's important we clarify that question before we move on. So the question by Samia was, what kind of a lam is this? And is it lam al-amr? Okay, the lam of should not. And at that time, I wasn't really thinking because I was just tired, I guess. But this is not lam al-amr. This is lam al-jawab. Okay, so this is lam al-jawab. How do I know that it is lam al-jawab? Because when you look at what came before, we have لو اطلعت عليه. This is my شرط. This is my condition, right? And if there's a short part, I look for a jawab part. So this is my first jawab, if you will. لم تعرف. And this is my second jawab. لاستبد. Okay. So لو لا. How do I know that this is, why didn't the la come here? Why wasn't it here in the first jawab? Because the first jawab is a negative sentence. When you have a negative sentence, like a negation, you don't have the la. It's not like, it's recommended not to have the la. Okay? So you don't say ما لو اطلعت عليه للم. In fact, it doesn't even sound right. Yeah? It doesn't sound good. But if, so I want to just imagine the sentence is ما لو اطلعت عليه لاستبد. لو اطلعت عليه لاستبد. So you see that connection, how it connects there. And of course, because that's a negative sentence, it doesn't get the lam. All right. So that's just, yeah, what's happening there. All right. Then you have استبد بك عجب لا ينتهي. So استبد, what does استبد mean? Like we translated this, it means to be overcome, to be overwhelmed, to be gripped, to be, yeah, to be overtaken by something. And what is this something that will overtake you? The fa'il is عجب. So استبد is our فعل, and it's the huwa version, like استغفر, استبد, استغفر family. And then عجب is rafa, so this is our fa'il. And of course, it comes with harf jar ba, استبد bi. This is kind of like married together. So, and then عجب is our fa'il. All right. And then you have عجب is nakira, بعدها الجملة. So لا ينتهي is the sifa of عجب. عجب لا ينتهي. A wonder that never ends. In other words, an endless wonder, because it's mawsuf sifa, endless wonder. All right. So an endless wonder, how do we translate it? An endless wonder, which is our fa'il, will or overtook you, overcame, will overcome you, or had overcome you, or I don't know how you could translate this, but yeah. So this is our fa'il, and that is our fi'l. Is that part clear? What's happening there? Then you have harf atuf waw, which is connecting this lastabadda to this fi'l. So it's connecting those two fi'ls, and that's why you don't have another lam, because it's kind of connecting those. So only one lam is enough. You don't have walastabadda. You can say walastabadda bika ajabun la yantahi wala tamakkana minka inbihar. You can put the lam there, the lam al jawab, because both of these sentences are positive sentences, but there's no need because harf atuf already does the job for us. Like it shows that this verb is connected to this verb, so there's no need of repeating the lam, right? So تمكن is connected to استبدى, and تمكن فعل ماضي from تعلم family, and it comes with من, تمكن من, and it has the meaning of seizing, overwhelming, again overcoming, just the same meaning as استبدى. استبدى ب and تمكن من have kind of like the same meaning. So وتمكن منك انبهار لا ينقضي, and it's more or less the same structure as before. So you have, this is a fi'il and it's the huwa version. So we look outside for an outside fa'il. Then we have inbihar. Inbihar, wonder, amazement. Yeah, like we looked at it, this word came from before, bahar al-Arab. It bewildered the Arabs. The Quran, bahar al-Arab. It bewildered the Arabs. Now this is the infa'ala family. Yeah, inqalaba family. Inbihar, right? So amazement, bewilderment, whatever. So again, لا ينقضي, لا ينتهي, لا ينقضي. Same meanings. ينتهي to end, ينقضي to cut, to stop, to end. Right? So endless wonder, endless amazement. You can try and separate them like that, but the meaning is the same. Again, just to point out, this book, the purpose of this book is not to be analyzed grammatically. That's not the purpose of this book. The purpose of this book is for us to understand the amazing nature of the Quran. So يعني it's not appropriate for us to ask, why did he use this word? Why did he use that word? Because essentially, this book is not meant to be grammatically analyzed. We are doing that for our own benefit and for our own growth. But the purpose of this book is different. We are using this book for a different purpose than it was meant for. So it's important for us to understand that as well as we're doing this book. Okay? So تمكن منك انبهار لا ينقضي. This whole part becomes our فاعل, and لا ينقضي is the صفة to انبهار, and similar structure to what came before. Any questions? Are we good? I don't think it's a difficult structure grammatically. It's just that maybe the vocabulary is a bit, yeah, a little bit difficult. All right, let's see here. It's not okay. So something I think the endless miracle will overwhelm, and you will be dazzled endlessly. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can say that. You'll be dazzled endlessly. Uh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you can say that. Yani the idea is you'll be dazzled. Okay. I'll take it. Yeah, because again, the point is we shouldn't translate it literally, because if we translate it literally, it's gonna sound weird. So yeah, so the way you translated it works, because if you translated it literally it means endless dazzling, or endless bewilderment or amazement will seize you, or you'll be seized by endless amazement, which is just weird. So dazzled endlessly works, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, that's the idea. It's a very strong feeling, the way if you engage with the Quran, it will just blow your mind. In other words, it will just blow your mind. That's how we would translate it. Yeah. Okay. And then he says, ومفتاح ذلك تدبره والنذر فيه. ومفتاح ذلك تدبره والنذر فيه. Now, let's break this part. The meaning of this part is that, and the keys to that is تدبره, reflecting on it, and exploring it, yeah, or pondering over it, looking into it, studying it, yeah, researching it. So we have مفتاح. مفتاح is light, no al. So this looks very much like a mudaf. And then ذلك is a mudaf إليه. And together they form our mubtada. Okay. So مفتاح ذلك, that is our mubtada. And then you have تدبره والنذر فيه. So this whole part becomes our khabar. So we put an invisible is here. And the keys to that is reflecting, its reflection, and exploring it. Right? And of course, inside that khabar, we have ma'tuf and ma'tuf alayh. So we have تدبره, and النذر فيه is connected by حرف عطف واو. And تدبره مضاف مضاف إليه, والنذر فيه نذر مبتدا خبر. Yeah. Sorry, متعلق بالخبر فيه جار مجرور. Okay. So that's how it's connected. Okay. Are we good? Any questions? All right. Let's go to the second part. Who would like to read?
Can I try, Sister Ilham? I'm not
Yes,
pretty sure, but
please. Okay.
فأمنحوه شيئا من التدبر والنذر يمنحك من أسراره ما لم يكن منك ببال. ما لم يكن منك ببال إنه يعطيك أضعاف ما تطيعه.
Okay, good.
تعطيه. Okay. تعطيه.
Yeah, تعطيه.
تعطيه.
Yes. All right, let's look at that part first, and then we can go to the next portion. So فامنحه. فامنحه. This is an أمر. امنحه. Okay. فامنحه شيئا من التدبر والنذر يمنحك. You should put يمنحك من أسراره ما لم يكن منك ببال. إنه يعطيك أضعاف ما تعطيه. Right? And what does this mean? It means, so imnah, grant, give. All right? So grant it something or give it something from tadabbur, from reflection, and from exploring it. What will it give you? It will give you from its secrets ما لم يكن منك ببال, what you couldn't possibly imagine. In other words, Dr. Fadil is saying, if you just had some time to ponder over the Quran, just you took some time to like look into it and research into it, it will open up its secrets to you what you couldn't possibly imagine, which is so true, subhanallah. إنه يعطيك أضعاف ما تعطيه. It gives you multiple fold what you give it. So you give it like what, 10 minutes a day, you just sit there and reflect over a verse for 10 minutes. It's gonna give you what? It's gonna give you multiple times what you give it. I mean, the jaza, the reward in the akhirah, we don't even know what that's going to look like. But even just in the dunya, that time you spend with the Quran, it's going to open your mind, it's going to open your heart, it's going to bring about connections that you didn't even know, existed. So that's what he's saying. Saying this book will give you so much more than what you can give it. Whatever you give it, it will multiply that. Right? I think the meaning is pretty clear there, unless there's a question. All right, so this section or this portion, it's the kind, if you remember when we looked at Jumla Shartiya, we talked about like two different kinds of Jumla Shartiya. You have the one that you have Adatu Shart, there's like law, we just looked at law here, law and the shart, this is the shart part, and then you have the Jawabu Shart. But then you also have Amr and Jawabul Amr, Talab and Jawabul Talab. Remember that part? So this is what we're looking at. We're looking at an Amr, imnahu, yamnahka. So this initial part is our Amr, and this second part is our Jawabul Amr. Like, give me the book, I'll read it to you. Give me the book, I'll read it to you. The Amr is give me the book. The Jawab, as a result of that, I will read it to you. So that's what Dr. Fadil is saying. Say, give it something, it will give you this, right? So famnahhu, imnaha, like we said, manaha yamnahu, imnah, to grant, to give, that's our fi'al. And of course the ha here, this is our maf'ul bihi, which refers back to the Quran. Give it, yani give the Quran. Shay'an, just a small thing. Now this is first maf'ul bihi, this is our second maf'ul bihi. So maf'ul bihi number 1, maf'ul bihi number 2. Because the first one answers the question who, and the second one answers the question what. Famnahhu, give who, give it. Give it what? Shay'an, right? So shay'an min al-tadabburi wal-nadri. So min jar majroor. So this whole part is muta'alliq to shay'an. Okay. And of course, al-tadabburi is connected with al-nadri by harf ataf. Wow. Is that part clear? And then we go into the jawab al-amr. So this is our amr part, and this is the jawab al-amr. Jawab al-amr, and of course they're both majzoom, as you can see, because amr and jawab al-amr, they have to be both majzoom, right? So yamnahka, yani the Quran, it will grant you. So this is our first maf'ul bihi. What will it grant you? Min asrarihi. This jar majroor again is answering the question what? What will it grant you? Just a portion of its secrets. Min asrarihi, right? And then you have ما لم يكن منك ببال. ما لم يكن منك ببال. And now this is describing the hal of those secrets, because أسراره is proper, and because it's proper, this sentence ما لم يكن منك ببال, or this ما rather, is the sifa, is the hal of أسراره. Okay, it's describing how, like, you wouldn't even be able to imagine these secrets. And of course ما here is ما موصولة. Then لم يكن منك ببال is a negative sentence. So لم is حرف نفي, negation. يكن is مجزوم because of لم, and this is a فعل. Well, فعل ناقص in that sense, but it's going to be treated like a جملة اسمية. منك جار مجرور. بال here, it was supposed, so this ببال is supposed to be our اسم كان, but because we added emphasis, we added emphasis with ba زائدة. This ba is زائدة. Like when we have ما جاء برجل, ما جاء برجل. The initial sentence was جاء رجل. Then we negated it, it became ما جاء رجلا. Now, if we want to stress that further, we would say ما جاء برجل. We add the ba زائدة. So this is لم يكن منك ببال. So this, you can see the negation is used here. Lam is used for negation, and then you have the ba زائدة. So it was supposed to be لم يكن منك بالا. Well, بالون, because it's the ism of كان يكن. All right. Yeah, that's ما وليس construction. Yeah, sure. Yeah, but the ba is still زائدة in both cases. It doesn't really matter. I was just using that as an example to show you that the ba is زائدة in a negation sentence. Right. So
Sister
this is
Ilham,
yeah.
we learned like in Lisa, it to stress more that B will come and Ma with B also comes. So it
Yeah.
comes with the lam also, it happens with the lam also, right?
So here's the thing. Ba زائدة can come in any construction. Right? It can come in any construction. Positive sentence, negative sentence. It can just be a ba زائدة. Right? But what we learned, that is like the common, like that is common, it's used. Yeah, and it can come with lam. Yeah.
Sister Ilham, one more thing.
Uh-huh.
Min asrarihi, it's maf'ul bihi.
Yeah.
Sister Ilham, it's like it grants you what it grants you min asrarihi, of its
Yes.
secrets, right?
Yes. So imagine this min is not there. يمنحك أسرار. Now it will be أسرارا.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
What min is doing? Is it's Zaida?
Yes. Here min is Zaida.
Oh, Sister Ilham, this is really creating a confusion to me. Something which I try to make it as a mutalik, then it turns out to be something Zaida. It turns to be
The thing with the muta'alliq, I mean, muta'alliq is tricky. Jar majroor is tricky because you need to know what is happening.
No, I was
again,
earlier happy because you told me like whenever jar majroor comes, then that would be mutalik to something or the other thing.
Yeah.
In the previous. So now I'm recently, since last 2 to 3 classes, I'm coming to know that this jar majroor could be also maf'ul bihi.
It could be so many different things. It's just that it rarely, like, okay, the possibility of it coming as a muta'alliq with something is more than the possibility of other things. So that's why that's the first thing we learn, muta'alliq. But can it be a hal? Yes. Can it be a sifa? Yes. Can it be a naibul fa'il? Yes. Can it be a maf'ul bihi? Yes. Can it be a fa'il? Yes. Can it be any other thing? Yes.
Okay.
It can be so many different things. Yeah.
What we learned is we mostly had a focus on jar majroor is just mutalik bil fi'l. That's it. Mutalik to something.
Yes.
But it could be many other things as well, right?
Exactly. It could be many other, depending on the context. Yes, depending on the context.
But the dominant role it plays is mutalik. but it could be other things as well. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so the way to understand this is just ask yourself what would be the meaning? What is the meaning? يمنحك من أسراره. If I say that this is متعلق بالفعل, then it has to be connected to the فعل. Okay? So this من أسراره is connected to the act of giving. Maybe you can look at it that way, but it makes more sense that this is what it gives you. What will it give you? من أسراره, secrets, from its secrets. Yeah. Is the min before بال also من زائدة? لم يكن. I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think so, no. No, that's not زائدة. So this is متعلق مقدم. Well, this منك is مقدم, because now this is the اسم of كان and it's after, right? So it's supposed to be لم يكن ببال منك. لم يكن بال منك. You couldn't comprehend it. Bal means brain, means your brain. So your brain you couldn't make it. You couldn't imagine it in your brain. Yeah. So that's kind of like the meaning.
Imagine anything from it, some of it, if it's not
Yeah.
min zaidah.
Yeah, some from it. Yeah. Is that clear so far? This is just how this phrase is used, by the way. لم يكن منك ببال. يعني you couldn't imagine it. You can just use it like that. But if you try and translate this literally, you will fail. You will fail at this because it will confuse you so much. You just take it as لم يكن منك ببال. You will not be able to imagine it. Yeah. And of course, this ba is extra. بالٌ بالً بالٍ. Like that's the word to imagine. Right? It's a phrase. Yeah. It's a phrase. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. Then we go to the last part. إنه يعطيك أضعاف ما تعطيه. إنه, this is our مبتدأ. Right? إن and its اسم. Then you have the khabar is made up of a جملة فعلية. So يعطيك, this is our khabar. أضعاف ما تعطيه, that entire sentence is a khabar. يعطيك, أعطى يعطي, to give. أسلم family. So it gives who? It gives you. And again, أعطى يعطي takes two مفعول بهs. So يعطيك, it gives you what? أضعاف. All right, so you see how that works? So the first مفعول به, it answers the question who? You. And the second مفعول به answers the question what? أضعاف. And of course, it's light, no al. So that's our مضاف. So even though this is our مفعول به, number 2, it's also a مضاف because it's light, no al. And this ما is our مضاف إليه. This ما موصولة. And then whatever comes after the ما موصولة, جملة فعلية, it's the صلة الموصول. And then the صلة الموصول, تعطيه, أنت تعطي. So what you give it. Okay? ما تعطيه, what you give it. So it certainly gives you multiple what you give it. It gives you more than what you give it. Questions? Is that clear?
Yes. So the second one,
Uh-huh.
after the ma has only one full be.
So there's the what already mentioned before. So this ma is going to be the second maf'ul bihi in this sentence. It's already came before, like what you give it. So it's already answered in a sense, right?
Sister Elam, can you explain this a little bit? What does it mean? It gives you what you gave it?
more than what you give it. It gives you multiple times what you give it. So it, the Quran, so let's let's remove the pronouns and use the nouns. The Quran gives you more than what you give the Quran. In other words, you can give it 10 minutes of your day, but it will give you, in terms of reward and in terms of the feeling and in terms of what you come out with it, way more than 10 minutes worth.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's going to open up to you and give you secrets. And on top of that, every letter you read, you are rewarded 10 times already, just reading it. So let's say you're doing tadabbur on an ayah, alif lam mim. That's okay. That's not the best example, because that's just going to it's going to take you in places you shouldn't go. Let's say you're doing on a short qul huwallahu ahad, short surah, short ayah, and you're just sitting there doing tadabbur on qul huwallahu ahad. Every time you say qul huwallahu ahad, every letter you're getting rewarded. You can spend 5 minutes, but I mean, can you imagine just qul huwallahu ahad? I don't know how many letters those are. Multiply by 10 just by reading it. And then you ponder it. How much would you get reward from that? And then you start to realize the value of qul huwallahu ahad, of what it means that Allah is, and ahad does not just mean one. Ahad that means one and alone and unique. Allah is uniquely one. That's what ahad means. It's not wahid. Wahid means one, but ahad means there's nothing like it. It's uniquely one, single, like nothing like it. And you start to realize, subhanAllah, this is the essence of Tawheed. And it just takes you through a chain of thought process, and every time you're getting rewarded for that. Yeah. So that's kind of like what he's saying. It says that it will give you more than what you give it in terms of time or reward or whatever. Yeah. Of course, the way you give the Quran is through time. There's no other way. Like research and pondering, that's through time. You give it time, but it will give you in kind, in different ways. It doesn't give you time. It's not going to prolong your life, but it will give you in other forms of reward in multiple ways. Any other questions on that? All right. Anybody else wants to read, or if anyone you want to continue?
Yeah, I have no issues with that.
Okay, please.
إن هذا الكتاب يمنح من نظر فيه وتدبره خزائن بغير حساب ويفتح الله عليه من ألطافه من ألطافه sorry من ألطافه ما يجل عن الوصف فلا تضيع لما يعلمه تضيع هذه الصفقة الرابحة وإلا فأنت والله مغبون.
Yes. فأنت والله مغبون. You can the last حركة.
مغبون.
Okay, let's try and figure that out before we continue. Yeah. Okay. So إن هذا الكتاب يمنح من نظر فيه وتدبره خزائن بغير حساب. Certainly this book grants whoever ponders it and whoever explores it. What does it grant them? خزائن. It grants them treasures بغير حساب, without measure, without count. Yeah. So endless treasure. Again, it goes back to the same idea. Grants them uncountable, innumerable treasures. وَيَفْتَحُ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ مِنْ أَلْطَافِهِ, and Allah will open for him from his kindness. مَا يَجِلُّ عَنِ الْوَصْفِ, what is beyond description. What is beyond description. فَلَا تُضَيِّعُ هَذَا الصَّفْقَةَ الرَّابِحَةَ. صفقة. فلا تضيع هذه الصفقة الرابحة وإلا فأنت والله مغبون. So do not lose this good bargain, this great opportunity, this great deal. Do not lose this great deal. Otherwise, if you do that, فأنت والله مغبون, then wallahi, I swear by Allah, you are deceived, you are fooled, you are duped, you have been deceived. Right? So that's what he's saying. So that's the meaning of that. So he's saying that just this book will give whoever gives it time treasures beyond measure. And it will open for him from the kindness of Allah and from the subtleties of Allah what is beyond description. Allah will open for you things that you can't even explain. So don't miss this good opportunity. Don't miss this great bargain and this good deal. وَإِلَّا فَأَنْتَ وَاللَّهِ. Otherwise, if you miss this good deal, then wallahi you are certainly deceived. Is the meaning clear of what he's saying? Okay. So let's try and see the grammar of it. So inna, we know inna plus its ism gives us a mubtada, and then you see hadha, and then hadha, this is ismul ishara, and you can see the musharun ilay has al, so ismul ishara plus al, that gives you a fragment. So together, inna hadha al-kitaba, this is our mubtada, right? And then whatever comes after it is going to be a khabar. يمنح من نظر فيه وتدبره خزائن بغير حساب ويفتح الله عليه من ألطافه ما يجل عن الوصف. This whole section is a khabar because there's no break in that chain. You can even continue it if you want to consider this fa as fa harf ataf. You can even continue up to the end. But let's say that's the end of the sentence to make it shorter so that we can easily break it down. So that's our khabar. Then you enter inside the khabar. You have يمنح, منح يمنح, to grant somebody, to give something, to reward or gift, grant. So يمنح, okay. فعل, and it's the huwa version. So we can look at, no, there's no outside dua because there's nothing that is after anrafa. So the dua is the inside pronoun huwa. So it grants. It grants who? Man nadara fihi. This man is mawsul here, is our maf'ul bihi fi mahalli nasb. So it grants who? It grants whoever. It answers the question who. So this is our maf'ul bihi. And then you have ism mawsul man, and then nadara fihi is our silatul mawsul, which nadara is our fi'l, and fihi is our muta'alliq bil fi'l. Okay, that's pretty simple. nadara fihi our fi'l and muta'alliq bil fi'l. Waw harf atuf connecting nadara and tadabbara. This is family 5. Family 5, yes, ta'allama. Yeah, so nadara wa tadabbara. Okay, so yamna, we said this is a maf'ul bihi number 1. What is the maf'ul bihi number 2? Khaza'ina. So it will grant whoever, what will they be granted? Khaza'in. So this whole sentence is our maf'ul bihi number 1, and khaza'ina bighayri hisabin is our maf'ul bihi number 2. And then of course bighayri hisabin jar majroor is muta'alliq to khaza'in, because you can even look at that as a sifa because it's kind of describing the khaza'in. What is the khaza'in? Treasures beyond count, or treasures without count, right? Kitab, not so sure I understand what kitab is.
Oh, I was just suggesting that's the outside word of yamnahu.
Yeah, well, so it goes back to the kitab. It goes back to it, but you can't say it's the outside door because it came before. Normally, the way we understand, I mean, there's some people who look at it that way. They would say the i'rab, they can say the fa'il came before the fi'il. But the way we learned is that the fa'il comes after the fi'il. The fa'il cannot come before the fi'il. Right? So you have fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul, muta'alliq. That's the order. Yeah, even though we know that the huwa, the pronoun inside yamnahu, goes back to the kitab, which is the Quran. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, great. Okay. So بغير حساب. And then you have واو حرف عطف. So ويفتح, you can look at this واو, by the way, you can also look at this واو as a new sentence, or you can connect it to يمنح. يمنح ويفتح. Okay, that makes more sense to me. So يمنح من نذر all this, ويفتح الله, and اللفظ الجلالة here is the outside فاعل of يفتح. And then عليه jar majroor, the عليه goes back to man nadara. It goes back to this pronoun. So it refers to the person who looks at this. So whoever looks at this, Allah will open for them. من ألطافه ما يجل عن الوصف. Again, what will Allah open? So this min answers the question what. So you see how jar majroor, you could just look at it as jar majroor and say this is jar majroor and end of story. But what role is it playing in the sentence? Is it just muta'alliq, or is it answering the question what? And in this case, it's answering the question what. What will Allah open? Min altafihi, from his kindness. ما يجل على الوصف. Again, altafi is nakira بعدها الجملة. So this ما يجل عن الوصف is a sifa to altafi. Oh, sorry, is a hal, not a sifa. It's not nakira, it's ma'rifa. So this ma is the hal of altafihi. And then you have jalla yajillu, where we get the name of Allah, Dhul Jalali wal Ikram. It means to go beyond, to be above, to be exalted, to be high, right? So ma yajillu anil wasfi, what is beyond description, and it always comes with an. It is married to an. Yajillu an الطول. يجل, what is, if I can say maybe يجل عن الطول, what exists height. ما يجل عن العرض, what exists the width. ما يجل, what is beyond. ما يجل عن العقل, what is beyond يعني the عقل, the intellect. ما يجل, so you can use this phrase for anything really. ما يجل, or he said to me ما يجل عن الفهم. He said to me something that is beyond comprehension, beyond understanding, right? So you can put anything, but it comes with يجل عن. So here وصف, يعني like from وصف يصف وصفا, to describe something. موصوف صفة, all those words, description. So what is beyond description? Okay. Questions? Are we good? All right. فلا تضيعوا هذا. Yes, go on.
Sorry to interrupt you. Can you just repeat the Arab very quickly of the sentence where yaftahullahu and so on?
Okay.
The basic Arab, not in the detail.
Okay, no problem. So ويفتح فعل, اللفظ الجلالة فاعل, عليه جار مجرور متعلق, متعلق بيفتح, من ألطافه جار مجرور مفعول به في محل نصب. Okay, and then ألطافه is معرفة followed by جملة. So this جملة is going to be the حال of ألطافه. So ما موصولة is a حال. And then inside that ما موصولة you have a جملة فعلية. يجل is the صلة الموصول. And then يجل is the فعل. The فاعل is the inside pronoun هو. عن الوصف متعلق بيجل. Okay.
Okay. Can we take this ma as a sifa of altaf?
No.
No? Okay.
You're going to tell me why.
Because it is proper, and it is followed proper, and it is describing mercy, which is beyond description. That is how I took it.
ما يجل, what kind of what is that? Is that a sentence or not a sentence?
It is a sentence. It is ma masul, right?
Okay, so now you have proper followed by a sentence, not common followed by a sentence. So when you have common followed by a sentence, you go the sifa way. If you have proper followed by a sentence, you go the hal way.
No, you can't apply this allazi and ma concept here.
It's still no, I don't think so. No,
No, why?
because it's a proper followed by a sentence, so it's going to be a hal.
No, I mean it has got. I am taking this ma as in the concept of allazi, you know, like it is the allazi is specific, but ma is more open-ended. Like you have, I mean, it is a saying that it is beyond whatever it is coming, whatever is coming from the mercy is beyond description.
I'm gonna get back to you on that one, honestly. Maybe you can, but from what I know is that proper followed by a sentence gives you hal. So I'm not so sure if ma mawsula changes that conversation. If you
We
replace
did
it
that.
with alladhi.
We did it in the previous text also when we were thinking about ma lo ittalata, what kind of ma is this? Then we took this as
We took it as
from
sifa,
the family. Yeah, we took it as
but it was
sifa.
nakira, wasn't it?
No, it was attached to sun'i and it is not nakira.
Ah, okay. I guess in that sense, honestly, you could be right. Probably you're right that this is a sifa, but I'm gonna have to check on that because if you replace this ma with a alladhi, then probably you will say that this is a sifa. Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess that makes more sense. If you replace this ma with al-tafihi alladhi yajillu anil wasfi, then makes it a sifa, right?
You can check it up and let me know, inshallah. I may be
Yeah, I will try and look at it. Yeah. A'id isn't there. A'id is always there. Like we mentioned, A'id is always there. It can be implied, it can be inside, it can be outside, it can be attached, but it is always there. So you can see yajillu, it's the inside pronoun huwa. So the A'id is inside pronoun. It's not just visible, but it is there. Okay? That's something to always remember. That not always you're going to see the A'id, because the A'id can take different shapes. Yeah.
Sister Ilham, can you explain it later? It's proper, but yet it is sifa. Not now, it's fine. You can dig it more and
yeah, I'll explain it. Ooh,
if you could share any notes on it, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will try and because I also need to see how, because I'm not so, like ma mawsula can be translated as alladhi because that's what it means. So in that sense, if you look at this ma as alladhi, then it makes sense like that. But I will do some more research and send it.
One more thing, how can ma mawsula can be translated as alladhi?
The one who.
Okay.
Or which.
But
or.
Okay, both are different, right? It's one thing is very specific and other thing is
general.
Yeah, more into broad concept.
Yeah, that's the distinction between the two, but they both refer to as the one. So min altafihi ma yajillu, from his kindness, that. And if I replace this with alladhi, I will also translate as that. So in English, it's the same thing. But in Arabic, we distinguish because we know that one is more inclusive and one is more specific and one is more general. Yeah. But in English, you would probably translate it as the same thing.
Sister, when it is in a sentence, when in a sentence it is more anonymous, when it's more general, that time we were using ma, right? Allazi was something which was very specific to the context. We were using that. So it couldn't, the ma could not replace with allazi, right? Because here kindness is in a very broader aspect. It is into different forms. That is why being used as a ma.
Yeah, in that sense, like in that detail, if you're looking at the distinction between ma and alladhi, yes. But generally, they serve the same purpose. Like, for example, if I'm translating a sentence and I say, that which you brought me, or maybe not the best. The apple that you ate, and the apple which you ate. Does it mean the same thing or not?
It does. It does.
Exactly. It means the same thing, but it's two different words. So generally, they mean the same thing, but specifically, it has a distinction. Specifically, it has a distinction, and specifically, it has two different purposes. But generally, it points to the same meaning.
Maybe the English is not doing justice to it, and when you come across Arabic, it has a vast difference. Still,
yeah. Here, yeah, like what Fawzi is saying here, it will be the same thing. Yeah. So here, whether you put it with alladhi or you put with ma, it is pointing towards, okay, I don't know how to explain it. Yes, alladhi means specific. Ma means general. That's clear. But do they serve the same purpose of pointing towards something? That's what we're talking about. Yeah.
Okay.
So we're talking about them having the same purpose. So when they're serving the same purpose, then they're serving the same role. So if they're both sifa, if one is a sifa, then it makes sense that the other one is also a sifa.
Yeah.
Because they're serving the same purpose.
Okay.
So that's why when we're saying you can easily replace with alladhi, and if you replace with alladhi, then it's a sifa. That's what we're saying. We're not saying that it replaces the meaning. We're saying it replaces the role that it plays.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I know that was difficult, but I will do some more research. But probably I'm leaning towards that explanation that it's a sifa, because that makes more sense. Yeah. فلا تضيع هذه الصفقة الرابحة وإلا فأنت والله مغبون. فلا, so this is لا نافية, negating. Do not lose, do not miss. ضيع يضيع. ضاع, like we looked at this word ضاع, to lose, when we were looking at the صدق رسول الله series. ضاع عنك في الطريق, something like that. So this is family too. ضيع يضيع, which shows intensity or frequency. So do not keep losing this صفقة الرابحة. Do not lose this. Do not miss this. الصفقة الرابحة, this is a phrase, comes like that. It means a good deal or a good bargain. So just take it as that. صفقة الرابحة, a good bargain. Can it be ناهية? I think it can. Yeah, you can look at it ناهية as well. So you can put a sukun there. لا تضيع. Do not, like a command. Yeah. Don't lose this. Actually, it's yeah, it sounds better like a command as opposed to, yeah, definitely a command. Sorry about that. Yeah. فلا تضيع هذه الصفقة الرابحة. Do not lose this good bargain. And of course, this whole part, هذه الصفقة الرابحة is our مفعول به. Don't lose what? Don't miss what? It's our مفعول به. Of course, هذه اسم الإشارة, الصفقة مشار إليه, الصفقة صفة موصوف, الرابحة صفة. Okay, so that's kind of how that's connected. This واو is wa زائدة. It's just extra, all right? إلا أداة حصر, except, or you can call it أداة الاستثناء, means except. Again, fa زائدة. Why does he have so much زائدة? Here's the thing, because again, you have to remember the purpose of the book is not for us to do grammar and to analyze this book. The purpose of the book is to convince us. He's speaking very emotionally, so he's using all the words that he can. Like he's trying to paint a picture and use imagery and appeal to your senses and appeal to your heart. So he's just putting words like that would grip you, that would speak to your emotions. وَإِلَّا فَأَنْتَ وَاللَّهِ مَغْبُونَ. It's like he's speaking like that. So if I speak like that, I mean, it's a different kind of speech when I just say إِلَّا أَنْتَ مَغْبُونَ. Right? It's a different speech. So he's adding all this kind of like, you can call them emphasis. Okay. فأنت. This sentence is basically أنت مغبون. مبتدأ خبر. But then he adds wallahi. Wallahi, what is jar? What is that? This is a jar majrur, because this waw here is waw al-qasam, is the waw that makes jar, because he's swearing. Wallahi maghbun. So this is a jar majrur, right? متعلق. So فأنت مغبون والله. والله أنت مغبون. Or فأنت والله مغبون. There's different ways of saying it, but all means the same thing. Yeah, lots of زائدة. Lots of زائدة for emphasis and stress. And yeah. Any questions there?
Zaida to Zayed here. It's not a question.
Yes.
It's a statement.
Oh, that's so good. Yeah. Yeah. They become زائد. Yeah. Interesting. All right, let's finish off this last part. Fahima, you can read.
أدركت الآن سر قوله تعالى أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أثقالها.
Exactly. في سورة محمد. So أدركت الآن سر قوله تعالى أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها. Have you realized now the secret of Allah's words? أفلا يتدبرون القرآن. Will they not ponder, reflect over the Quran? Or is it that their hearts have their locks? Or is it that the hearts have their locks? It's a weird translation, but that's how the Quran worded it. Okay? So that's what it means. Like, have you now realized, like, after I've explained all this elaborately and emotionally and trying to grab your attention like this, have you now realized the secret of doing tadabbur? The secret of why Allah wants us to do tadabbur? Or is it the fact that the hearts have locks on them, have their locks on them, right? So that's what he's asking, a rhetorical, emotional question, if you will. So أدركت, the first Hamzatul Istifham is a question. So he's asking a rhetorical question. أدرك يدرك. This, we looked at this in Sadaqa Rasulullah again. Adrikuni means to realize, but it also has other meanings, like come to my aid, or reach me, or come before the problem ends, things like that. But here is being used in the meaning of have you realized, to know, to come to the realization. Adrakta, have you realized? Al-an, have you now realized? What have you realized? Again, adraka is one of those fi'ls that takes two maf'ul bihi. But here we don't have a yeah. Do we? Wait, adraka. Did I say it as daraka? Realize adraka. I'm a bit confused. Let's table that discussion of two maf'ul bihis, and I will come back to that. But anyway, adraka, to realize. So this is our fi'l. The fa'il is anta. Anta, have you realized? Al-an is a dharf because it tells time. So this is the ism dharf للزمان. Have you now realized? What have you realized? Sirra qawlihi, the secret of his statement, of his speech, ta'ala. So this whole part is our maf'ul bihi, right? What have you realized? This. Have you realized this? Okay. And what is this thing that you realized? This statement. So you can look at this, the ayah of the Quran, as a badal. It could be a badal al-ishtimal, or it could be a badal al-kull. You can easily, I think badal al-ishtimal or ataf bayan makes more sense here. Yeah. So أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها. Haven't they أفلا, won't they ponder the Quran, or upon the hearts are it's locks. Weird way of translating, but I'm translating it very literally. But what Allah is suggesting is that the hearts themselves have locks. It's the hearts that have locks. Yeah, so we need to unlock these hearts by pondering the Quran. If you ponder the Quran, and also the fact that he's saying, won't they ponder the Quran, or the hearts have locks? So if the hearts have locks on them, its own locks, then nothing can enter. So the Quran, no matter how much you try and ponder over the Quran, it will not enter because you've locked it. So you need to unlock it first for the Quran to enter, for the revelation to enter. Yeah, no problem, Arshi. I think we are winding up, so that because that's the end of page 21. Unless there are questions, corrections, clarifications, we can stop there maybe if there's nothing. Okay, looks like we're good. Next week we begin page number 22 and the end of the chapter, inshallah. And hopefully we'll do a reading of the complete thing at the end of that if we have time. Yeah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته. جزاك الله خير سيدنا.
May Allah keep you. Afia, Rahma, and Naima. Ameen. Summa
آمين يا
Ameen.
رب العالمين.